Welcome back to In Pursuit 360. And today we are going to be answering a question one of the subscribers asked if I would go into a little more detail about auxiliary or special positions with different departments or volunteer positions. So today that's what we're talking about, and here we go. Welcome back to In Pursuit 360, and today we're going to be talking about a question or a request that came in from a subscriber asking that I go into more detail about these auxiliary positions. So some police departments or county agencies, county sheriff's offices have what they call auxiliary positions, or in Stafford County where I started they were called special deputies. Special deputy, auxiliary deputy, take your pick. In Stafford they were volunteer positions, so you just volunteered. They put you through the academy. You got a badge, you got a gun, you got all your equipment, you got your uniforms, you were sworn in, you were a Virginia certified law enforcement officer. They just didn't pay you. In order to do this, you had to ride along with a full-fledged deputy for 8 hours a month. We worked football games and sporting events for the high schools, and we actually would get paid from the schools would actually pay the sheriff's office for that, and they paid us. So we got paid for that. But we were required to go out and ride at least, I think it was like 8 hours a month. So you would ride with somebody that's already certified and cut loose on the street. You could, as an auxiliary, go through the field training program, be signed off on, borrow somebody's car, and just go work the street on your own. But then you would have to go to your court dates and all that other stuff. So a lot of the auxiliaries, we worked the games and we did our ride-alongs. We all had full-time jobs and stuff like that. So it was kind of hard to, make sure we could clear time in order to go to court. There was one auxiliary that I knew of while I was there that actually went through the process and was released to go work on their own. City of Fredericksburg, I believe, had an auxiliary program. Spotsylvania County had an auxiliary program, but their auxiliary program was actually part-time. They had part-time deputies. And it was kind of the same thing. They all had full-time jobs. They got paid an hourly rate as a part-time deputy, went through the academy, got all the training and all that good stuff. And they went out and they worked things, again, like high school or school events, stuff like that. They also worked the boat patrol. Lake Anna is within Spotsylvania County, or at least a big chunk of it is. And they have a boat patrol out there. They work that. And they did other things that Spotsylvania had, but theirs were part-time. So city departments or county departments or whatever will have some kind of not all, but a lot of them, especially away from the big cities. I don't know if like New York has them or not, but anyway, or Baltimore City or Washington D.C. or whatever, or like even bigger departments like Arlington County here in Virginia or Fairfax County. But I know the further you get from that, they use these auxiliaries or these part-timers to kind of supplement their manpower. And so it was my foot in the door. That's what I did. I mean, I applied to be a special deputy. They called it something different in Stafford. A special deputy in Stafford. Made the cut pretty easy. I mean, I didn't really have to go through a whole lot. I did a real quick interview and basically was brought on board with nothing else. No physical agility test, no polygraph, no psych test, none of that stuff. Yeah, sure, we'd love to have you. Hey, here's a badge. Here's your gun. Here's your this. Here's your that. In Virginia, you can get hired by a law enforcement agency and actually work for a year before you're required to go to the academy. So that's how they get away with hiring, or that's how they got away with hiring me like that. Just bringing me on board and giving me my stuff. Here you go. Congratulations. And I think I started the academy maybe a month or two after I got hired. They had a part-time academy, so I went Tuesday and Thursday nights for 4 hours each night, and then every Saturday for 8 hours. And I did that for about 7 or 8 months. And that's how I went through the academy and got my Virginia certification. About a month and a half after I graduated, I got hired full-time. So there you go. Foot in the door. What department, if you really, 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 really want to join law enforcement, what agency somewhere near you has some kind of an auxiliary or special or a volunteer unit. Stafford now actually not only has special deputy, but they actually have a citizen volunteer unit. And those guys go around and they move. You ever see those things where you're driving down the road and there's like the law enforcement trailer with your speed that's blinking up there when you're going through a zone too fast and all that? They go around and they move those trailers around, and they got dummy cars that they set up like they're running radar, but there's nobody really in them. They move those around. And they're older folks that are retired and don't really have anything better to do, and so they go out there and do that, and they're useful. And it keeps the deputies free to answer calls because these guys are out there moving stuff around. So they have those, and they also have the younger ones who are able to put on the gun and the badge and stuff like that and ride along with the full-timers. So it's a foot in the door. It's getting your name out there. So, if you can't get an interview, and again, remember, when people are applying to these departments, it's not just you. And even though they hired 4 last time and you were number 5, oh, so close. And they tell you the number, oh, you were 5th, but we're only taking 4 this time. We were going to take 6, but they only let us take 4. I'm so sorry, you were number 5. You were right there. Well, the next time you apply, that doesn't automatically make you number 1. What if a couple of other people have more experience, or already certified, or, I don't know, have a degree, or blah, blah, whatever? There's always somebody better out there. So what can you do to make yourself known? Well, one thing is to go volunteer. You're not going to get paid, or if you get paid, you're not going to get paid much, but everybody's going to get to know you. When they announced that they had a full-time road position open in Stafford, and I had to apply just like everybody else. But when I applied, I'd already been doing ride-alongs. I'd already been working the football games. I'd already been in the office. The sheriff would walk down the hallway and go, "Hey, Greg, how you doing?" I never even met the man, and he knew my name because I was in there, right? So it gives you a chance to get in there, get known. They get to know who you are. And then when it comes time for hiring, they may have somebody else that may be just a little bit, here compared to you, right? Yeah, but they know you. You're already certified. You already know the department's policies and procedures. You're already familiar with that kind of stuff. And the supervisors know you, and the other officers know you, and they talk about you. And, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're a good backup while you're out there, they will speak positively of you, and that will help you out. So find a department, find a county, find something somewhere near you that may have a program like that, and get into that. Get your foot in the door. Once your foot is in the door, you're golden, right? Then you can start doing stuff. So if you're in County A and that's the county you want to work in, and that's the department I want to be with, but you can't get in, they don't have an auxiliary program or whatever. Well, maybe County B or C has an auxiliary program and they're somewhere near. Go to them. Go to them temporarily. You don't need to tell them, well, I really want to work in County A, but they're not hiring, so I came here to you, right? Just go there, get your foot in the door, get your certification, get your experience, and the next time County A, your place, whatever, county, city, whatever, where you really, really, really want to work, next time they have an opening, then you can apply. Now you've got experience. Now you have certifications, right? Now you've already been working towards something. So that gives you that little leg up. Who cares if Joe Blow has a 4-year degree? Because you are actually a certified law enforcement officer. You have already actually done ride-alongs. You now know the answers to some of those questions like, well, if you were to respond to a situation and the guy starts cussing you out, what would you do? Right? If you don't have any experience, if you've not been on the street, if you've not had somebody cussing you out or cussing the other officer that you're riding with out, maybe you won't have that answer. Or you'll kind of come up with something like, well, what happens if the bad guy's riding along in the back of your car and they said, when I get out of jail, I'm going to go do your mama. How are you going to respond to that? Right? If you go do your ride-alongs and you're exposed to that stuff, you're going to see how these guys handle that stuff. And most of the time, they just let it roll right off their back. They understand that they're not the judge, jury, and executioner. Their job is to get them to jail. Right? So, There you go. That's auxiliaries or specials or part-time positions and how they work. You're going to apply and most usually go through the same process as any other law enforcement officer to get on with them. But they're a little more open with those positions. They can hire 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those where they may only be able to hire 2 full-timers, right? So get your foot in the door. The foot in the door. In the door, right? Same thing. If you want to go federal, find a federal agency that's hiring. I'll be honest with you. The Pentagon Police is a perfect one to get your foot in the door. Foot in the door. Foot in the door, right? Foot in the door. Once you're in, then it's easier to move around the different agencies within the federal government. Get into the Pentagon. You want to end up going to FBI a couple years with it. Well, yeah, they require degrees and they want specialties like CPA or computer or cyber security and stuff like that. But you get the idea. You want to go ATF. It may be hard to get into ATF, but you get your foot in the door. Foot in the door, right? Get your foot in the door, and it's a little easier to get into ATF. It may be a little easier to get into U.S. Marshals. It may be easier to get into some of these other agencies if you get your foot in the door. I don't know why that means foot in the door, but that's what I'm starting to use. So I think it looks, it looks dorky, to be honest with you, but I'm using it anyway. Foot in the door, foot in the door. All right, so get your foot in the door no matter what you have to do. But auxiliary, part-time, or these special officer positions, they're out there. You just have to find them. You have to be willing to do the time, right? You don't always just get to move into your dream job or your dream department or whatever. You may have to put a little time in a place that isn't your number one pick. But you may find out you end up liking it there anyway. We have plenty of people that came to Stafford that intended to move north to like Fairfax County and then ended up staying because they liked it so much. So, there are pluses and minuses to all that stuff. But, again, the idea is to get your foot in the door. I'm not going to make the same hand gesture again. So don't worry. We're good. So yeah, get your foot in the door. Auxiliary, special, whatever. Find a department or an agency near you that does that and go for it and get out there. Get educated. Get your certifications. And then you'll be able to sell yourself to whoever you need to sell yourself to. Okay? All right. Hopefully that answered the questions about auxiliaries and specials and part-timers. If you need something else, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those. And again, as always, please hit the subscribe button down below. It's down here somewhere. I'm sure I'm pointing. Here we go. It's down here. Anyway, bell notification lets you know when the next video is coming out. And the thumbs up. Love thumbs up. Helps with the algorithm. Thumbs down if you have to, but let me know why. Let me know what I could do better for you to help you reach your goals. And there's a new thing down there, and yes, I'm going to do this as corny as it is. There's that little heart thank you thing down there. There we go, heart thank you thing. There you are. Hey. Where if you want to, you can help support the channel, help with my recording equipment, stuff like that. Again, I want to end up getting into doing interviews with newer officers that are out there, and maybe even some veterans, to share their opinions and ideas on what you can do to increase your chances for getting on with the department and things like that. So anyway, any one of those will work. Just make sure, keep chasing your dream, and as always, be safe out there.